You got baited here by Quartzka. She'll be here in a bit. In the meantime, I wanna ramble about something. Over the years, I've noticed a very consistent complaint about stat bloat and such in contingency contract. Like how we always have reduced health, reduced attack, and enemies have increased health and attack. And people would like to have more varied and interesting risks. I do agree with that we should have more extreme and interesting risks to play around with. But I also think that the stat bloat is very important. In other games, if you just increase the enemy health or increase their attack, it might make the interaction with them less interesting. Like if you're playing God of War and an enemy kills you in one hit, your only option is to just not get hit. This isn't true in Arknights. If you have an enemy coming from the bottom lane of this map that does infinity damage and one-shots everything, yeah, maybe the only option is to shoot it from a distance with the cockroach on the middle tile. But you have other options. You can use summons, you can use faster deploys, you can use crowd control, shields and whatnot. You have other means of interacting, even if its attack is too high to tank directly. And if its attack is a bit lower and you can tank it, but only with certain operators, then you have other setups you can use, like running a defender with medics and whatnot. But if an enemy attack is too low, and their health is too low so they die too quick, the only meaningful interaction becomes just killing them. If the enemy stats were low enough and the bottom cutter could solve it, realistically here this isn't possible, and because the possessed have a bunch of attack, she also cannot tank them, hence why Bubble is here. If there were a bit fewer of them, I could run Susuru instead. Anyhow, the point I'm trying to make in this poorly scripted rumble is that even though we should have more varied interesting risks, of course, that's a given, we also need the stat buff to make those other risks meaningful, because otherwise you could just shoot everything from a distance, because naturally our operators have much higher stats than the enemies in practice, especially when you get to 5 stars and 6 stars. This is why stuff like Contingency Contract or Vector that are meant to be harder events always have those stat bloats, because without them, no matter what kind of mechanic you introduce, you can't really make an event that much harder. All you're going to do if you make a really complicated mechanic without the stats is increase the time it takes for people to learn it. I think the best middle ground is mechanics that can screw you over if you don't get them right, but help you. Like the Twilight of Munde mechanic, the Mudrock event, where you have to capture the towers and they heal enemies if you don't. Which reminds me, I meant to make a video about my favorite events from Arknights. I think I'll go do that now, and I'll let Quartz finish them up. See ya.
A bit late, not a big problem. Mission accomplished. This is worth celebrating. When we get back to Rhodes Island, we won't have to eat my cooking anymore.